Hello, hello. How are you? You ready for one more card using Clubhouse? This is JilliBling. JilliBling.com. And this card, Amy K made this tunnel card. And it's really easier than you might think. It's very impressive. And a great way to showcase the designer paper. I really like it, and I'd love to show you how to make it. When Amy did this card, she also had a video, and so I took a lot of tips from how she did it. But if you'd like to make something like this, you can look at her video and my video and make up your own style or get tips from both of us. Okay, so to get started, using the Clubhouse and the golf club dies. Thank you, Amy, for sharing. So I have this. These are the products we'll use. It's not going to be this bulky. On the card, yes, I did do a little bit of coloring here, a little coloring there, and then the golfer did some coloring. So that's what the blends are for. And I'll list all products to use on my blog, JilliBling.com. And I will list the designer paper, cut it to 8 1/4 by 5 1/4. You score at 2 1/8, 4 1/8, 6 1/8. And I'll be doing this here in just a minute. And yeah, all the products will be on my blog. We will use Memento ink for everywhere we're going to color using the blends, navy and suede. Also the winter woods, these trees, that's what's right here in the back. We will be using stitched shapes, and that's to get this oval. The stitched rectangles is how I cut that. And layering ovals is to cut out the larger oval. And this is just a piece of navy paper, and it's glued to the opening in the designer paper. You know, did I do that? Nope, I did. Good. Okay, so let's see. And then the score tool is going to be used to score the designer paper. And we'll use the Clubhouse Baker's Twine combo pack, and it comes in 4 colors. Okay, so I'm most interested in getting this big thing put away, so let's do the scoring right away. White paper to cut the golfer. Ooh, that looks like the front of the card almost right there. The words happy birthday will cut right here. This stitch shapes is to cut the top of the card. This is for cutting on the inside. And here are stitch shapes and then layering ovals. And you just set them together. Don't let them overlap, otherwise it will cut one of them. And I did my paper a little bit small. But just run this through, and that's how you get this perfect little oval layer. And I have a note. This is a note that Amy said, do not fold until after you do stamping, because on the inside, see the trees? If I were to have folded that, I wouldn't get a clean image right through the center. So I'm not going to fold it. So let's do the scoring. And I'll leave this here for just a minute. If you're making this card, just pause it. Excuse me, and it'll tell you what size to cut the designer paper and where to score. So when watching Amy's video, she mentioned something that I never knew, that when you look at your stylus that comes with your score tool, there's a small tip and a bigger tip, and I just always used the small tip. But she says use a small tip for scoring cardstock and use the larger tip for scoring thinner paper such as designer paper. If you use the small tip on the designer paper, it creates such a deep cut and the paper is thinner that it might break through and cut your paper. We don't want that. So, thank you very much, Amy. So I will score this at 2 1/8, 4 1/8, and 6 1/8. Okay. Excuse me. And so when you look at the card, I'll put it this way. Let's see. So you could see that the designer paper goes down, up, down, up. So valley, mountain, valley. Valley, mountain, valley. Just like that. And then, because I like things to be scored. Oop, did I not score it straight? What could have happened? Sometimes I just don't have luck. How could I get crooked? Anyhow, hopefully I'm straightening it out. Okay, so now when I fold all these together, those were not even. Don't like that. It's a little bit crooked there. Was that OCD? Probably doesn't matter, but. Okay, and on her video she says, do the inside first, then do the outside. And she said that because if you did the outside first, it would be hard to stamp this. We don't want that. So let's start with the inside. Let's do soft suede, these trees, and I'm just going to put them, do not fold until after stamping. I'm going to put that on my other papers because I need notes like that. Otherwise I do things that I don't want to do. Okay. So here is soft suede, and it doesn't have to be perfectly in the center because you really don't see too much of it. Right there, that looks perfect to me. Look at that. Very nice. And I think that's all that the suede is used for. Oh, I put this little pull over there, so we'll use it again. Okay, so now we can fold this in half. Okay, next step is to attach this little navy oval onto here. And after I ran these through the Big Shot, I would have an oval that looks just like this, and that's going to go right on here. So the question is, do you put glue on this or do you put it on that? I don't think it matters. Whatever you're in the mood for. And you have to give it a minute or two to dry because this oval is going to end up being folded in half when the card is closed. And if it isn't dry, it's going to scooch around, and we don't want that. Okay. Oval, oval. I'm looking at the designer paper. I see a little bit showing through here. So I'll scooch it just a bit. And after it gets hung on, I'll flip it over. And see where it's showing through. It's showing through a little bit here. Ooh, my fingers are dirty. I must have been stamping today. Okay, that's looking really good. Okay, so I'm going to set this off to the side to dry. And in the meantime, how about if I work on this little bit? So that is cut out using stitched rectangles on Whisper White cardstock. Do I have one ready? Yes, right here. So if this ever happens to you and you get like little freckles on your paper because you're using old plates, just take your adhesive remover and it will pick up any of those little paper particle slivers. Okay, and you're the greatest guy by par. That's done in navy. At the top. Whew, that came out nice. And then I do like that little, boy, I wish I was a golfer. I would have the right words. The flag that signifies the hole. What's that called? I haven't even done miniature golf in a long time. So this thing right here. Flag. Okay, so that's all that's to that part. So this can be stuck down. I'm still trying to give the oval, the navy oval, a little time to dry, the glue. So I'm looking at where this is, here, this amount equal to that amount. Okay, and this is going to go on here. Once again, allowing a little more time. Let's work on tiger. Is that tiger? No, that's not tiger. So I'm going to stamp it first. I'm going to stamp it in Memento because I'm going to color it in. And then I'm going to cut it out one time over the golfer, and then a second time, I'll show you why. Very nice. So, get this lined up. Okay, so I'm going to run it through one time and then a second time without stamping it. Do I have that over here? One time without stamping, only because that isn't all that attractive. Check this out. And again, this is Amy's tip. Much better. And why is that important? First of all, it's nice that he's a little bit more substantial rather than Whisper White Thin. And also, because when I close it, watch right here. I'm going to make sure that you can see it. I don't want to see all of this business going on, where the blends, how they bleed through. I know, I don't need to do this. You probably already get it, but that's okay. I don't want to see that in there. Okay, carry on. So, golfer guy and golfer guy become a double whisper white golfer guy. Good enough. Double white golfer guy. Okay, so I'm going to let him dry just a little bit. Oop, the clubs. I know I put glue on them. Okay, so the navy blue oval has probably had enough time to dry. So once it's stuck down here, want to watch it in action? Ooh. Oh, I need to fold that. Make sure that's folded. Okay. So here. So I'm going to start with just one side. Okay. Look at the top corner, bottom corner. I'm kind of stretching it. Okay, so I know this is right in place. And now I'll put adhesive here. And you don't want adhesive here because this is the part that pops out. I would like just to push it down, but chances of it being right, I'm pulling it up a little bit because I'm looking at that corner there. Just fine. Alrighty. Okay, now to put golfer dude on. He's probably dry enough, you think? So this part, this is how Amy did it, was you position them there, and there's a crease right here. So I don't want that to be over the crease, otherwise the club will get messed up. So it's about 1/8 of an inch away from the crease. I'm fine if this part sticks over a little bit. So I'm going to put glue on his hat, his whole club, and the grass. Hat, whole club, and grass. I think there was one foot that I could put glue on, but I don't remember which one, and I flipped it over, and chances are I'd do it a little bit wrong. Okay, so I'm going to put him on once again, not putting the club in the crease, just a little bit away from the crease. The crease is right here. I'm going to scooch it over. Put glue on his hat, glue on his club, glue on his feet. Okay, and I'm going to hold this down and let the glue kind of evaporate and then soak into the fibers of the paper. And waiting and waiting. After this, do the front. Is that long enough, or does it need some more pressure? Pressure. Pressure. Woohoo! Okay. Instead of me holding it. So, for the front, I will cut out the words with a die. Ooh, I have a mess over here. Oh, I think I used this on the last one, but I might have already done it. So that's cut out in sandpaper. Right here. I'll cut out another one in a minute. Later. After. And I cut out this one. stamp on that. And here is for the front. Oh, it'd be easy enough to do the layering here. I think that's dry. I think that'll do. I'll just let it sit undisturbed while we work on the front. Okay, so for the front, ooh, what do you think about that? Oh, I kind of like it. Do you like it? Or should the golf clubs be on there? Stampin' Up! Makes good products. You know what? I'm not sure because I'm kind of liking that navy. I like navy though. So I'm going to do the words. And I'm hoping it will settle into my head what color it should be done because I don't know. So this is Stamparatus that I didn't clean after the last card because we used it for the happy birthday. My chamois is a little dirty. Okay, and we'll put this already cut piece right in here and then stamp happy birthday in navy. I have stuff everywhere. Can you see what a mess it is? It doesn't look so bad from there. That's good. And you know this little guide, I'll probably put it in with the dies because it works so perfect. Aren't you impressed? I'm impressed. I think I might be liking that blue, the blue background. Okay, so now for stamping the golf ball on the tee. I'm going to use a little bit of the blends, the color. So I'm going to stamp in Memento. And every time I stamp this, I stamped it crooked. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I have it on the block a little crooked. This time it's going to be straight. You think? Yes. Is it? Or is it going that way a bit? Okay. So for doing the coloring, let's see, you could see the ends of these. The Poppy Parade was for Golfer Dude's shirt and hat. Which one is this? Granite Light. This is for the golf ball. Just a hint of shadows. So do you know how many dimples are on a golf ball? I don't. Just like they say you could count how many seeds are on a strawberry. When somebody said that, I said, well, go ahead, count them, but it depends on if it's a big strawberry or a small strawberry. They say, no, it doesn't matter. That's what they say. I don't know. Did I already color one of these? I did. You don't have to watch me do all this coloring. Excuse me. So I'm going to use, this is all based off of Garden Green. There's no Garden Green blend. So Amy used light, I think she used Clover, but that's what color is on here. It doesn't exactly match, but that's okay. And then down here I used Crumb Cake Light just to put a little bit of color on the tee. And then back behind I used a little bit of Seaside Spray Light just to make it look a little bit like it's off in the air. Okay, so how's this look? Am I still going with it? See, I think I'm still going with that blue, that navy blue. The other one is very theme appropriate. I guess I'm just a monochromatic girl. I'm going to do it. Okay. So, cover up golf balls and tees in Garden Green. So, you know, I've really been working on if the paper, do I need to flip it over before I put adhesive on it? I'll show you what I mean. So if I was going to put adhesive on this, would I flip it over and put the adhesive there? No, there's no stamping. It doesn't matter. At one point, I was stamping with a friend. She goes, "Why'd you flip the green paper over?" I'm like, "To put adhesive on it." She goes, "But you don't have to because there's no need to flip it over." I'm like, "What?" She goes, "There's no stamping. That's just an extra step." So now in my head, I mentally try not to flip over solid color papers that I'm going to put adhesive on. It's kind of like a game. I like that. Okay, so happy birthday is going to go on here. So I'll get some mini dimensionals. I just saw these glue dots. Another funny story. See all these lovely glue dots? So when you get a kit, such as Paper Pumpkin, or if you get any of the kits in the catalog, which are great, they give you glue dots. And rather than giving you a whole roll of these, which would be very not cost effective, they give you a sheet of these, and I think they call them like tissue glue dots or paper tissue glue dots or something like that. But anyhow, Carolyn, I'm sure you're watching this. She sent me a text out of the blue. She goes, "Why does Stampin' Up! Keep on giving me all those little white dots? What are they for? What's up with that? I'm tired of getting those." I said, "Those are glue dots." She goes, "Oh." And I think she knew what they were. She just was kind of had enough of all of those little glue dots. And she's like, "Well, they give me a lot of them." And I said, "Well, that's if you take your kit on the road, like say that you were going camping or you're going on a trip. You just pack up that Paper Pumpkin box, and everything you need is inside the box. You don't have to bring your adhesive. You don't have to bring your glue dots. You don't have to bring your dimensionals because they provide it. It's all included." So I think that their intent is to have you use those rather than your snail. So you don't even have to bring that. Okay, is this going to show up? If it doesn't show up, I think I have nearby the garden green. What do you think? This is kind of a whole bunch of understated elegance, isn't it? Should I do that or should I do green? Here's garden green that came with the pack. Oh, that looks good too, though, huh? Should I do both? Because the card isn't going to have bling, it could have like multiple strings. Baker's twine. What do you think? Yeah, I'm fancy like that. I'll just do one wrap around though. Okay, looking for comments. What do you think? So if ever you're tying a bow or a knot or something, just tie it wherever it's comfortable to tie it. And don't worry about getting the knot in place